ANC in the Western Cape is holding its first provincial conference since 2015. It's been barely holding together due to widespread division and factionalism. At least 700 delegates are expected to attend the conference, with 2 regions yet to hold their conferences. Cameron Dagmo, Richard Ganki and Lirumo Kalako are vying for the position of provincial chairperson. Our reporter Ayesha Ismail is following developments there and is joining us now live from the conference venue in the Western Cape, in Cape Town. That's the International Convention Centre there in Kapstad. Good afternoon, Ayesha. Welcome to today. So it's all set for this conference of the ANC. Finally, it's holding a provincial conference, first time since 2015.
Well, Dan, the stage has been set since early this morning, and as you can see, the desks are here, the bottles of water have been put on the tables, but I wish I could give you an update as to what exactly is taking place here. I've been told that a number of, in fact, almost all the regions have been registered. This 9th Provincial Conference is about rebuilding and renewing the ANC here in the Western Cape. But to give us an update, I'm now joined by the spokesperson for the ANC here in the Western Cape, Sifiso Mitsweni. I spoke to you earlier this morning. We were expecting the address by the Secretary General around 12 o'clock and then around lunchtime. We're still waiting. What is the hold-up?
Well, as you realized this morning, registration started a bit late. That's largely because regions such as Southern Cape and Karoo, they've had to travel for quite some time. And the registration is also handled by the national office. So the staff also arrived today. But I can update you now that 80% of registration has been done. As I'm speaking to you now, we are in a meeting in the IPC, finalizing the credentials of this conference, because we can't come to the conference without adopted credentials. So that meeting is taking place together with National Executive Committee members that are here. I can confirm the SG is here. The SG will open the conference today. And as soon as the 20% is done and everything has been done and is quality assured, because what we also don't want, we don't want a conference that is going to be discussing credentials over many days. So we're trying to be very meticulous in our process and make sure that whatever it is that we're going to present to the delegates is actually something that is quality assured, that is actually going to be accepted. But just quickly another thing as well that delayed the registration a little bit. Some delegates, for instance, would not be available today, so you have to replace. Now, because of that process, we want to be very meticulous. A person cannot just come and say, replace me because, you know, Delegate X is no longer there. So we need to be very clear. So we had to take out information from the elections agency where the delegates were actually recorded, so that we are sure that the person that's replacing the other delegate is in fact the right one. So we've now done that particular work. As I said, we are at 80%. The conference will continue today.
Some would argue that this is an indication that the ANC in the Western Cape is still in disarray.
No ways. In fact, if anything, this is an indication of an ANC that is thorough, an ANC that does not want to cut corners, an ANC that wants a credible conference. By the way, you go and look at many other provincial conferences. Issues of registration are normally having a day on their own. So what we have done, we've mixed day 1 with registration. So there was always going to be some challenges there. But I can tell you now, the quality of the tags, as you can see them, that's why even here you can't enter with a duplicate. Those things are quite meticulous. As you can see, even where we are in the different areas, there's proper security, everything is fine. You are not having those ructions in this particular conference. I can tell you now, if anything, this is a beginning of an ANC that is qualitative, an ANC that is thorough, and an ANC that is very serious about its processes.
Now, the leadership that's going to be elected over this weekend will be the leaders who are going to lead the ANC ahead of the general election next year. It's about rebuilding and renewing the people's movement in the Western Cape towards a better life for all. Yes. Isn't that just a slogan?
Well, the test will always be in the pudding. I think what we've done over the last few years we've really had to look at ourselves, do an x-ray of ourselves, do a deep introspection and say, you know, the people of the Western Cape over time, their confidence in the ANC was eroded. That was mostly because our internal fightings, weak structures on the ground. But what we have done is this interim leadership. We've concentrated on building strong structures. We've concentrated on ensuring that the quality of the leadership at the branch level becomes something that will actually start engineering some confidence. For instance, let me remind you that in the last 4 by-elections that have taken place, the DA has lost wards to the ANC. So we are beginning, the DA has lost 15 municipalities from the ones that they used to run in 2021. We've taken them out of 50%. As I'm speaking to you, they've lost Naisda, it's run by an ANC coalition. They've lost the whole Karoo, it's run by an ANC coalition. They've lost Witzenberg, I can count many areas. That's because we've begun to have presence on the ground, and people are starting to realize that, you know, with the DA, it's a lost cause. Rather have a limping ANC than a running DA, because the DA is running nowhere.
So you've now confirmed that the Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, will be opening the conference tonight.
Yes.
Is it confirmed that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be closing this conference on Sunday?
Indeed, I can confirm that the President will close the conference on Sunday.
Sifiso, thank you so much for your time. And Dan, we're hoping that this elective conference will start tonight. As we hear from the spokesperson, he's confident that it will still happen this evening, and starting tonight with an address by Fikile Mbalula, and just confirmation again from him that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be closing this conference on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Ayesha Ismail there, just following developments there at the delayed start of the ANC's provincial conference in the Western Cape.